Have you ever wondered why some women do not have to chase love, why they simply become the story men cannot escape? It is not their beauty that binds him. It is not the words she says, nor the softness of her hands. It is the way she becomes his mirror, the reflection of everything he has longed for and everything he has denied. He sees her and believes he has found heaven, but what he has truly found is himself, seen for the first time. When the masculine encounters the awakened feminine, desire is never simple. It is layered with memory, shadow, and the ache of forgotten truth. She does not just stir his heart, she unlocks it. And then the unlocking, she opens every chamber he thought was sealed. To him, she feels like fate, like something destined. But what he truly feels is recognition. For in her presence, the fragments of his own soul begin to whisper. Jung once said that no man can truly love a woman until he has faced his own Anima, the inner feminine that lives within his psyche. Until then, he does not love her. He projects himself onto her. He looks at her and sees the divine, but it is the divinity within him that he has never met. She becomes both his muse and his obsession because she carries the qualities he has disowned, his tenderness, his vulnerability, his longing to feel. She becomes the mirror of his denied softness, and like all men unready to meet themselves, he mistakes that reflection for her. You may have noticed this pattern, how some men are drawn to your light, not because they see you, but because they sense what you awaken in them. He watches you, studies your movements, tries to understand what it is that makes you different. But the truth is, it's not you he's searching for. It's the part of himself that he feels in your presence, the part that remembers what it means to be alive. And so he clings, he pursues, he idealizes, not out of love, but out of hunger for reunion with what he lost inside himself. In this dance of desire, she becomes his obsession, not because she tries to be, but because her existence reveals his incompleteness. Her silence haunts him more than her words. Her distance feels like punishment when it is only clarity. She does not play games. She simply refuses to be consumed. And so his desire deepens into chaos, the beautiful torment of wanting to possess what cannot be possessed. He calls her mystery, but what he means is she cannot be controlled. Her energy stirs something primal in him, something ancient, something that terrifies the ego and fascinates the soul. You see, the ego loves what it can define, but the soul longs for what it cannot contain. And she belongs to the latter. When a woman moves from her center, when she is no longer performing for affection, when her validation comes from her own silence, she becomes magnetic in a way words cannot describe. To him, she becomes both heaven and abyss, because in her presence, he feels the pull to evolve, and evolution to an unready man feels like death. He begins to unravel. He tries to hold her tighter, but the tighter he holds, the more she slips through his fingers. Because she cannot belong to possession, she only responds to truth. His obsession is not with her body, but with her presence. Her stillness becomes unbearable because it reveals the noise in his own mind. Her confidence is threatening because it exposes the emptiness of his validation. And so his desire turns to frustration, his longing to fear, his attraction to resistance. He starts to blame her for the mirror she holds. He says she changed, but she only became. Some women are not meant to be possessed. They are meant to awaken. They come into a man's life like a storm, not to destroy, but to clear the debris of illusions. She mirrors his potential and his pain, his light and his shadow. And when he refuses to integrate what she reflects, he mistakes awakening for suffering. He may call her dangerous, unattainable, or cold, but these are only names for the truths he refuses to face. For the woman who becomes a man's mirror, love is not about possession. It is about awakening. She knows the difference between connection and attachment. She knows that being desired is not the same as being seen. And so she lets him project, lets him believe, lets him reach, until he realizes the reaching is inward. Then she steps away, not as punishment, but as liberation for them both. Her departure becomes his teacher, her silence his mirror, her absence the echo that returns him to himself. You may have played this role, the mirror, the muse, the mystery. You may have been loved for the light you gave, and blamed for the reflection you revealed. But understand this, you are not his undoing. You are his invitation, an invitation to wholeness, to integration, to truth. Whether he accepts it or not is his journey, not your burden. Your only task is to remain in your authenticity, not shrinking for his comfort, not softening your voice to keep his peace. For the woman who remains true to herself does not create obsession, she exposes illusion. In Jung's vision, the relationship between man and woman was never merely romantic, it was sacred alchemy. Each meeting a chance for the psyche to remember itself, each heartbreak an opportunity for evolution. When the feminine reflects, she liberates. When the masculine surrenders to that reflection, he transforms. And when both awaken, desire becomes devotion, not hunger. Until then, she remains the mirror, the one who shows him that love was never about ownership, but recognition. And so she walks, not away, but onward. She leaves not in anger, but in peace, because she understands that obsession fades, but consciousness endures. He may spend a lifetime remembering her, trying to decode her silence, wondering why she still lives in his mind. It is because she was never just a woman. She was his reflection, his mirror, his undoing, and perhaps his greatest chance at awakening. And when she is gone, the lesson remains. True desire is not found in the chase. It is found in the courage to see oneself clearly. Because in the end, the woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.